Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to New York City. Hi Nabul. Hi Nigel. So let me get a time check. It is 8:41 p.m. in New York City. Hi Griffin. Thank you all for being here. I know I haven't been broadcasting live on YouTube nearly as much as I should, so hopefully this is coming across okay. Hopefully my my microphone. Hopefully my microphone is working. Hopefully the screen is clear, and if it isn't, let me know, because I have not broadcast on YouTube in quite some time, and I have to relearn the correct way to broadcast on here. Thank you, Griffin. Keep me posted. So we're on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. It's 8:41 p.m. It is 70 Fahrenheit, which is 24 and almost 24 and a half Celsius. Saturday evening here in New York City. We are live on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. The camera is facing straight away west. So off in the distance is New Jersey. I'm on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and that's where we are right now. So I'm just going to pan the camera around, and before it gets too dark, let me show you Central Park. I want to show that to you before it gets too dark, because we don't only have a few minutes left until it gets completely dark, and then we'll have to wrap up this broadcast. The camera now should be pointing over at Central Park, and that is Central Park. The other side of the park, that's the Fifth Avenue side of Central Park. I'm on the Central Park West side, so if I point the camera down, you see the traffic down below? That is Central Park West, and that is the Fifth Avenue side of the park. Central Park goes all the way up north to 110th Street in that direction, and all the way south to Central Park South, which is also 59th Street. Yes, Saturday Night Live in New York City, absolutely. Oh, thank you, Phantom. I'm up on the roof deck of the building that I live in. So anyone who lives in this building has access to the roof deck. We're about 17 flights up, and that's where I am right now. And we're overlooking Central Park. It's 8:43, so it's going to get very dark very, very quickly. And I'll stay with you until we have this daylight, which is just a few minutes, I believe, left. And then we'll wrap this up. But I'll stay with you as long as I can until it just gets too dark to see anything. Hey Nabul, great to see you, Nabul. Thank you for, Nabul's been great in helping me with the YouTube live broadcasts. I normally broadcast live on Periscope, so I'm relearning how to broadcast live on YouTube. And every time I've asked Nabul a question, he has been so prompt and so quick to respond and so patient with all of my questions. So I say thank you to Nabul. And by the way, if you're not following Nabul, Neboul, he does fabulous broadcasts out of the south of France, so make sure you're following him as well. If you see that body of water over there, that is the Central Park Reservoir, named after Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. The official name is the Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis Reservoir. And the reason the city of New York named the reservoir after her is that she used to live right across the way there on Fifth Avenue, overlooking that reservoir way back in the 1970s. And it was very polluted back then. It was not maintained, it was polluted. Frankly, it was disgusting. And Mrs. Kennedy worked with her very wealthy friends in the arts community and on Wall Street. And she raised millions and millions of dollars and worked with the city of New York to clean that reservoir up. And that's exactly what happened. It's been cleaned up and maintained ever since her efforts way back in the 1970s. And indeed, Nabul, us New Yorkers just refer to it as the reservoir or the Central Park Reservoir, but the official name is the Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis Reservoir. There's a jogging track around there. I go running around that track several times a week. Very popular destination within Central Park. And once again, the other side of the park is the Fifth Avenue side. I'm on the Central Park West side of the park, and you can see the street down below. That is Central Park West. Indeed, Nabul, indeed. So we'll go, we only have a few minutes left of light here in New York City. It's 8:45, so it's really going to get dark very, very quickly right now. But we're now facing the camera back in a western direction, and you can see the lights are really coming on here. All the residential buildings that you're looking at, all the residents are turning on their lights. And here we are in New York City. Just a beautiful, beautiful evening. We were expecting rain tonight. It has not happened. So I'm glad I can bring you this broadcast. Isn't it gorgeous? This is all the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Beautiful evening, 70 Fahrenheit, 24.5 Celsius. Just gorgeous. No humidity. Perfect evening, no wind. Calm, beautiful, breathtaking. Absolutely. Glad to hear that, Nabul. Nabul, the last time I broadcast live on YouTube, I made a mistake. I left something on the Streamlabs app that caused some sort of interference in the middle of the screen. Can you let me know if that is now gone? There's no longer an image or an icon in the middle of the screen so you can see perfectly. It was humid today in Dallas, I can imagine, yes. Several years ago, I had a business trip to Fort Worth in Texas, and it was in July or August, and I felt like I was inside an oven. So I can sympathize with you, Dallas. Perfect, Nabul. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. Glad I got it right this time. Just gorgeous tonight. Could not ask for a better evening. We were supposed to get rain tonight. As you can see, it's not raining. Beautiful evening. We are expected rain here tomorrow. Hopefully that will pass over too, so I can go running in the park and enjoy the day. And once again, Central Park should be coming into view on this beautiful New York City evening. Central Park is about 845 acres, give or take. By the way, I haven't mentioned yet on this broadcast, do you see this roof deck right across the street? If you ever saw the movie The Big Short, I just came back from dinner, Phil, just got back from dinner. The movie The Big Short, starring Steve Carell, if you saw that movie, you might recognize that roof deck. The very last scene of the movie, Steve Carell was up on a roof deck overlooking Central Park. He was sitting on that roof deck right there. That's where the very last scene of that film took place, right there on that roof deck. If you're on YouTube and you Google last scene from The Big Short, you'll recognize it. For those of you who ever saw the movie The Talented Mr. Ripley, starring Matt Damon, there was a scene, I believe it took place in the beginning of the film. Matt Damon is playing the guitar, not the guitar, the piano. Matt Damon's character, the Talented Mr. Ripley film, was playing the piano in the living room overlooking Central Park. That was filmed right there on this roof deck, but inside that penthouse. Not on the roof deck, but inside that penthouse, right there. That's where that scene took place. So there's two movie trivia that I just gave you from two different films. And there's Central Park. And when Steve Carell, that last scene that I told you earlier, going back to the Big Short movie that was filmed on this roof deck, and it was only for a split second, one of the cameramen, it appears, was standing right here where this tree is, where this potted plant is, right here. And one of the cameramen, now that scene was filmed from many different angles, but one of them, I believe the cameraman was standing right where I am, pointing up at that roof deck for a close-up. So when you watch that scene, you'll recognize it now. It should all come. You'll see what I'm talking about. Getting very dark now. Don't know how clear Central Park is coming, but these are all the trees in the park. There's the Central Park Reservoir. That's the Upper East Side of Manhattan. The other side of the park is all Fifth Avenue. I am on the Central Park West side of the park. Not much to see because it's getting really dark now. I'll stay with you another few minutes until you just can't see anything anymore. Then I have to get back downstairs. Let's go back to the Upper West Side. We're now facing west once again. When I was facing Central Park, the camera was in a northeastern direction. Now we're facing straight away west. So obviously we missed the sunset tonight, but you can see the aftermath of the beautiful dusk and all the lights coming on. New York City is just twinkling tonight, isn't it? Oh, glad you can still see. Yeah, sometime when I look through the camera, I know it's a different, sometimes it can be a little different than what you're seeing. Look at the sky, just beautiful evening tonight in New York City. Could not ask for a better evening. No wind, no humidity, 70 Fahrenheit, 24.5 Celsius, just breathtaking. and it's 8:50 p.m. here in New York, 8:50 p.m. in the evening. So regardless of where you are around the world, I hope you're enjoying these views. And thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you. As I said, I have not been broadcasting nearly as much as I should on YouTube. I know I keep saying I need to broadcast more on YouTube, and I haven't come through, but I really need to start doing that. Well, someone's making noise down there. I have no idea what that noise is. It is a Saturday night, so people are drinking, no doubt. It sounds like it, right, Phil? Yeah, it's about 70 Fahrenheit here right now, and which equates to 24.5 Celsius, give or take. That's pretty close. I'm going to turn the camera again towards Central Park. Now, as the camera moves east, it gets darker because the sun, of course, sets the opposite direction in the west, so we don't have much light. We don't have as much light, excuse me, as we face east. And there's Central Park. Tough to see now that you can't even see the green trees. It's just getting a little too dark here when you face the camera west, but that's Central Park. And you can see off in the distance is an aircraft. We have very busy airspace here in New York City. We have 4 very busy airports. We have Newark Airport, which is in New Jersey in that direction. Then straight away in Teterboro, we have a Teterboro Airport, which is a private jet airport in Teterboro, very busy airport. And then when you get into Queens, further in that direction, you have LaGuardia Airport in Queens. And then in that direction, also in Queens, is JFK Airport. So a lot of air traffic overhead, very busy airports here in New York City, very crowded airspace. Doesn't it look great? Yeah, it's a beautiful evening. Hey, Shirley, how are you, Shirley? Great to see you on here, Shirley. Welcome to New York City at dusk. Nightfall is quickly happening here. I can't believe we still have some light. It's 8:53, almost 9 p.m. Indeed, Phil. Very sad day, but you're absolutely correct. I remember that too. Great to see you, Shirley. Thanks for being here. And as you can see, when I point the camera over Central Park, it was us. You could still see the trees when we began this broadcast, but now it's just getting way too dark. So not much to see when I point the camera now over the park, just getting way, way, way too dark. And nighttime is really coming on quickly now. What little light we have left off in the distance is starting to fade. Just a beautiful evening here. We're on the Upper West Side of Manhattan in New York City. Beautiful evening, I've mentioned several times. No humidity, no wind, 24.5 Celsius, 70 Fahrenheit. You could not ask for a more beautiful evening than what we have here on this June 1st of 2019. Isn't it gorgeous, Nabul? I believe June 21st is our longest day of the year here in New York. It will be light, I think, until after 9 p.m. And then the bad news is, after June 21st, all the nights or the days start getting shorter. The days start getting shorter after June 21st. So we have 3 weeks of really late night, beautiful evenings ahead of us. And then sadly, after the 21st of June, our days, very slowly at first, but they will start getting a little bit shorter. Summer is just about here, is it not, Phil? If not already, I believe summer has started here in New York. I don't remember where spring ends and summer begins in New York. I don't have the exact date off the top of my head. but I will consider this summer because we are in June. Yes, Nabul, it's interesting that you mentioned that. This roof deck that I'm on is open to anyone who lives in the building. And the people who live here do indeed, to your point, Nabul, they do indeed come up here with a bottle of wine and they watch the sunset. The sunsets from this roof deck are breathtaking. It's straight away, beautiful, big, bright yellow sunset this time of year. I have broadcast that in the past and I will do so again. We are expecting thunderstorms tomorrow, so don't know if that will work tomorrow, but we'll get to a beautiful sunset here soon enough. Oh, you're too kind, Nabul. Yes, I mostly broadcast on Periscope, and I need to do more broadcasting here on YouTube. You bought back a bottle of Limoncello from Italia. Ah, bella, bella. Prego, grazie. You know, I'm Italian-American and I hardly know any Italian. Isn't that a disgrace on my part? Just disgraceful. A couple of years ago when I went to Italy, true story, when I checked into the hotel in Rome and I gave my credit card to check into the hotel, they saw my last name, which is an Italian last name, so they were all excited and they started speaking to me in Italian. And I had to explain to them in English that although I'm Italian-American, I don't really speak Italian. And the look of disappointment on their face, I think he actually started just shaking his head at me. And it was a very funny moment. And it's true, I should speak more Italian than I do. But I am an American. I was born and raised here in New York, out in Long Island. I was born in a hospital in Queens and raised in Long Island. So I am a true blue New Yorker, if you will. You ordered espresso in Italian. Very good, Phil. Grazie, grazie. Indeed, Phantom. Just gorgeous out tonight. We're pretty much in darkness right now. Because of the lights in New York City, it still looks like it's light out when you look above at the clouds, but that's really all the lights and the illuminations here in New York, because when I point the camera across Central Park, that's Central Park, you can no longer see anything. That's the Fifth Avenue side where you first see those buildings. That's all the Fifth Avenue side of Central Park. But when you face the camera west, because of all the building lights, it does get a bit lighter. Indeed, it's just gorgeous out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because it is 9 p.m. now and I want to get back downstairs to my apartment. I really enjoyed this broadcast. I hope you did too. I thank you so much for being on here. And Nabul, a special shout out to you for being so helpful in getting me set up here so I can stream live on YouTube. Yeah, you know what? You cannot see the stars up here because it's too bright from all the city lights. Sometimes you can, but not tonight. It's tough to see stars here in New York just because of all the buildings. It keeps things a little bit too light. But again, I want to thank you. I'm going to go ahead and log off. I really appreciate all of you being here. I know I need to do a better job of broadcasting live on YouTube more. I get it. So thank you again, and I'll try and make this more of a habit. Have a great night or good morning or good afternoon wherever you are in the world. And until next time, bye for now.